What's up guys, welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the best legendary weapons for new/returning players. This video is going to be split into two segments, the first part being weapons that are easily accessible that may not require a team, while the second part is going to be higher end activities. If this video ends up helping you out in the long run, please consider subscribing, as I will be posting videos just like this one all throughout the final shape. I'm going to be going in depth on all the new weapons as well as the prismatic subclass, and make sure to turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Also want to do some silver giveaways when I hit 5,000 subscribers, or maybe even before, so make sure you do have post notifications on so you don't miss that. I really want to hit that milestone before the 8 years, so let's see if we can make that happen. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the video. Now keep in mind that all of these weapons are really good and a viable option even if you're an active player, so don't think that these are only for new/returning players, because they are definitely not. I still use most of these weapons half the time, especially the weapons that I cover in the second half of the video. In fact, one of them is my favorite weapon in the game. Starting off, we have the Cartesian Coordinate Rapid Fire Frame Solar Fusion Rifle. This weapon is not yet enhanceable or craftable, however it definitely keeps up with a lot of the DPS weapons. Now a majority of the time you do want to use this weapon for boss damage, as that's why I chose the Roll Vorpal weapon with lead from gold. Now you're definitely going to want a charge time masterwork with this, because it's going to be the best option for getting DPS out quickly. Now the way you can obtain this weapon is through the gunsmith, which is located in the tower. He sells this weapon very so often, so make sure you go and check every Tuesday, which is weekly reset. I got mine back in Season of the Chosen, and I honestly have had it in my inventory ever since. I literally have not put it away. It is definitely my favorite fusion rifle in the game, and I don't think that will ever change. Nowadays, when you're doing damage with a fusion, you definitely don't want it to make your main DPS option. You want to have a separate weapon on that maybe have auto-loading holster or something like that that will automatically reload when you put it away. So what I do is I do damage with, let's say, a rocket with auto-loading, and then I switch back to my fusion until I hear the reload sound, and then I switch back and shoot my rocket, and then go back and keep shooting my fusion. For the weapon perks, like I said, you're going to want lead from gold and Vorpal weapon, but you're definitely going to want projectile fuse for the battery, and the sight doesn't really matter. However, I really like clean shot, but it's up to you as long as you have increased range on it. The next weapon we're going to be going over is the adaptive frame void grenade launcher edge transit. Now if you do raids or higher end activities, or maybe just play with players that are more active, you've probably seen this weapon because it is absolutely one of the best grenade launchers right now. I'd say it's number 2 to Cataphract, which is a strand grenade launcher from Trials of Osiris, but that's obviously not obtainable for most players, so most players are going to be going for this one, which is definitely an easy option. Now for this weapon, you're definitely going to want Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch. To get the full benefit out of this weapon, you will need to proc both of these before you actually do damage. For Envious Assassin, you will be doing that passively while you're clearing ads with your other weapons. However, for Bait and Switch, you'll need to switch to your secondary weapon or your other primary weapon and shoot the boss, and then switch back to your other weapon and shoot the boss again. Then you can switch to your heavy, your grenade launcher, and it should say Bait and Switch above your super. You'll notice that you have around 10 seconds with Bait and Switch. This is enough time to empty all of your ammo on the bosses, and you may have enough time to reload and shoot the bosses a little more. But if you don't risk wasting ammo on non-bait and switch rounds. I would recommend just switching back to your other weapons to proc bait and switch again if you have more time for DPS. Now when you're swapping your weapons, you want to make sure you reload your grenade launcher before switching to proc bait and switch again. However, if DPS is about to end, do not reload your grenade launcher, just switch to your other weapon. For example, if you're using a fusion, you can use that to take down more damage, while if you just sat there and reload before DPS ended, you would just be wasting time. If you're newer to the game, or maybe you don't have a lot of experience doing this, I would recommend finding a guide on YouTube on how to actually maximize your damage efficiency using bait and switch. However, if you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. You could always just give it a test run and see what works for you. Now, to get this weapon, you will have to be doing Onslaught. You can get this weapon from any Onslaught game mode, so don't stress about Legend mode or anything. If you just go into normal Onslaught and do it with random people, you will be able to get this weapon. However, it is a random drop, and the likelihood that you get your roll that you want could be pretty low depending on your luck. If you are having a hard time, I would recommend trying to find an LFG to do Legend, because you will be getting 2 chests, which will overall give you a better chance of getting the weapon with the roll you want. Onslaught can be found in the Vanguard section of your director's menu. Onslaught's pretty fun in my opinion, so if you do want to find a game mode that gives you pretty good rewards, I would recommend trying Onslaught out. Again, the rolls for this weapon, you're gonna want Envious Assassin, Bait and Switch. However, you can swap Envious Assassin out with other things if you really want to, Like, you can try auto-loading holster, that's pretty decent, but I really wouldn't recommend it. If you get rolls, just try them out and see what you like and what's better for you. You're also going to want quick launch and spike grenades with this weapon. I do not recommend swapping that out with anything else. It's definitely the best option. Also, you can now enhance this weapon, which basically means you can get enhanced versions of those 2 perks that we mentioned. The next weapon on the list is the adaptive frame solar hand cannon epical integration. This is personally a favorite of mine and by far the easiest to get on this whole video. This weapon comes with static rolls, meaning you cannot change it. You get what you get, but luckily for us, what we get is absolutely a beast of a weapon. This weapon comes with stats for all and incandescent, both passively triggered by just clearing ads. This weapon also has the origin trait nanotech tracer rockets. Oh my goodness, what an awesome perk. To proc this perk, all you have to do is hit enemies, and at some point a rocket will come out of your gun and destroy them all. Basically the same thing as the Quicksilver Storm exotic auto rifle. To get this weapon, all you will need is the Lightfall DLC, and then to complete the campaign, and afterwards you will get a quest called Parting the Veil. Once you complete this, you will get the hand cannon. You will probably have a blast with this weapon. Honestly, it is one of my favorites. The next weapon on the list is the rocket assisted frame strand sidearm called the Call. This weapon is the second rocket sidearm that we have ever gotten. It takes energy ammo. Now there's a couple things you can do with this weapon, so I'm gonna go ahead and say the rolls that I would recommend. You can either do lead from gold with desperate measures, or you can try beacon rounds with hatchling, which is personally what I like. In my opinion, I think these rocket sidearms are best used when they have beacon rounds, especially for shooting enemies far away. For example, in the Warlord's Ruin dungeon, the turrets that spawn in all of the encounters are easy to take care of with this sidearm once you get at least 1 kill. I mean, this weapon literally has no fall off. You can beam any enemy from any range with beacon rounds. The tracking benefits that beacon rounds provide honestly makes the weapon a lot more fun to use. To get this weapon, you will need the Final Shape DLC, which is the most recent DLC to come out. Now, you don't have to craft this weapon to get the rolls that you want. However, it is easier to do so if you have bad luck, and you will long-term be able to enhance the traits to make the weapon better. To craft this weapon, you will need 5 red borders, which sounds like a lot. However, I got mine in 1 day just from doing the overthrow public events on the Paleheart location. Again, for the rolls, I would recommend beacon rounds with hatchling and quick launch for your barrel, and tactical mag for your magazine. Now we're going to go ahead and move over to the other segment of the video. These are going to be the weapons that may require an LFG team or just friends to help you. 2 of these weapons are from raids, 1 of them is from a dungeon, and the last one is from Nightfalls. I'm going to go through these weapons pretty quickly, so if you have any questions that I did not answer, put them in the comments and I promise I'll get back to you. The first weapon on the list is Zali's Bane, which can be obtained from the King's Fall raid located in the Legends tab. This raid is free, you do not need a DLC for it. You can craft this weapon with 5 red borders if you'd like to. However, you can just get the weapon with the roll that you want. For this weapon, you absolutely want explosive payload incandescent. This weapon honestly is a legendary version of Sunshot and is absolutely my most favorite weapon in the game. For the other perks, you want corkscrew rifling and appended mag. The next weapon on the list is Rufus's Fury, one of the best PVE auto rifles in the game. It is a strand auto rifle that could be obtained from the Root of Nightmares raid. The weapon is craftable. You will need 5 red borders to do so. However, you don't have to do that, of course. You can still get the weapon with the rolls that you want on it. Now for this weapon, you're going to want Reconstruction with Hatchling or Reconstruction Frenzy. Honestly, it's completely up to you. If you want to synergize your strand build, you should probably do Hatchling, or if it's a strand season with good artifacts, that's definitely what you want to do. For just normal ad clear, maybe just doing more damage, you're going to want Reconstruction Frenzy. You will also need Lightfall to do the Root of Nightmares raid. For the barrel, you're going to want Arrowhead Break. Honestly, that's up to you though. You can change that out with whatever you want. But for the magazine, you're absolutely going to want Ricochet rounds. The next weapon on the list is the Embedded Kindness Arc Rocket Sidearm, just like the Strand sidearm we mentioned before. This weapon can be obtained through the Warlord's Ruin dungeon located on EDZ. This dungeon can be accessed with the Lightfall dungeon key, which is unfortunate because I think that's pretty stupid. If you own Lightfall, you should just be able to do the dungeon. This weapon is not craftable or enhanceable, and I don't think they plan on changing that. Now, this weapon has a pretty high drop rate. I don't actually know why, but I get it majority of the time, and it's really not that hard to get the roll that you want. I think I got it on my 3rd try. For the barrel, you're going to want Quick Launch. For the magazine, High Velocity rounds. And then for the perks, you're going to want Beacon rounds and Volt Shot. For the last and final weapon for this list is Warden's Law. This is a really specific weapon that I chose to add on this list for a reason, as I believe we're going into a little bit of a hand cannon meta. Now, ideally, you're going to run this weapon on Hunter, but obviously you don't have to. The reason I say that is because Lucky Pants goes really well with this weapon, especially if you have Vorpal weapon on it. This weapon is obtained through Nightfalls. Luckily for you, it's in rotation this week. You can't get the Adept version because Grandmaster Nightfalls aren't out yet, but you don't really need that unless you're looking to enhance it. The best role, in my opinion, is 4th time's a charm with Vorpal weapon if you're looking to kill bosses pretty easily. If you don't really want to use it for bosses, you can swap out Vorpal for Frenzy. For the barrel, you're going to want Polygon Rifling, and for the magazine, you're going to want Flared Magwell. Make sure to get this weapon while you can. It's really good and absolutely worth it. That's going to wrap up this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and click that like button. It'll help me get more viewers long term. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. Again, I'm trying to hit 5,000 before the end of the year. Also, if you guys need help with getting any of these weapons, you can write in the comments your Bungie username and I'll try and help you. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this video. Let me know in the comments how Final Shape is going for you if you have played it yet. Anyways, I will see you all on the next video. Peace.